American accents ranked from easiest to hardest to understand. So I think I can understand almost every accent. The only ones that I struggle with sometimes are like a really, really strong Southern accent, like a really strong one where all the words kind of blend into one. Or like if you go into sort of the Minnesota sort of area where it's like a almost Canadian-y, but there's almost like an element of like yodeling in there almost.
Which is the easiest American accent to understand, and which is the hardest?
Well, how y'all doing? I'm about to learn you something real quick.
Well, I chose 13 accents from all across the US and I ranked them from easiest to hardest. Who am I to do such a thing? Well, my name is Ollie Richards. I speak 8 languages. I've written dozens of language learning books, but I'm fascinated by accents.
8 languages is impressive.
Especially English accents from across the pond. So let's see how many of these you can recognize.
Good evening, your time now, 3:42. This just in. Me. I send things over to my colleague here, Robert Burton. You know, Robert, it was such a wild day.
First of all, that's an amazing apartment. And second of all, why do all American TV reporters have that accent, that one there? It's like, is there a name for it?
Hey, at work, how did things go over on your end?
No, this is not a trick, but don't try this at home. Listen, you might think you've got a handle on the American way of talking, but trust me, it's a far more complex beast than you might imagine. Now, the easiest accent is so common, it's practically invisible.
This is what people think of most when they think of the American accent. This is when you're going and you're watching movies and you're hearing an American, this is what you're usually hearing.
Easy to follow.
That's like I think a Pacific Northwest accent. I think that's the name for it. Isn't it?
Easy to imitate, and as American as apple pie. Think Jennifer Aniston.
I will see if the thing that I think that I know is actually the thing that I think that I know.
The voice of any news anchor or your average Joe.
Now, not only if we all began to wear suspenders would we increase the net masculinity of the American public, and
this one's slightly more southern.
You're just sick and tired of always looking like a plumber when you bend over to get your work done.
Of course, it's no accident they are speaking like that on purpose so that you will all understand them. It's what's called the general American accent, the gold standard for clarity. If you come from places like the Midwest or Northern California, well, congratulations, you're probably rocking this accent without even trying. Now, things can only heat up from here, so as we go along, I want you to keep your eyes and ears open. There is one accent on this list that non-Americans voted as the hardest one of all to understand. Which one do you think it is? See if you can guess before we get to it, and no cheating.
So we're gonna go back to the house and maybe chill for a minute or two. Then we're gonna meet up with our pals, eat some supper. Sounds like a plan, dude.
If you don't get this accent right off the bat, then you've probably never watched
California. I think California.
American TV. It is the accent of sun-kissed beaches, tech giants, and avocado toast. And Hollywood loves it. There's no shortage of characters mimicking this accent. Hard to understand? I wouldn't say so, but a lot of other foreigners get confused.
Just say what you normally say, but just do it like in a slower, chiller way. You know what I mean?
Right, okay.
Did she say normally? Normally.
I see it now. Nothing like a little bit of vocal fry to warm you up. Heavy on the vowels, got a bit of a drawl, and everything's a question. You know where we are?
The words are stuck in the back of my throat. I have like a vocal fry. But I don't know, like it went away. People were like, you know, it's not that big of a deal.
If you said Southern California, you are right on the money.
When I hear that accent, I think of the Kardashians, you know, that today I'm going to go shopping and then going to go swimming and then I'm going to go dancing. Like everything ends in that inflection, that high note.
But by the way, as you can tell, I don't have a particularly American accent. Not at all, actually. So if I say something here that you disagree with, don't hold back. Let me have it in the comments. All feedback is welcome. Now, some American accents are straight fire, while others not so much. We've covered the smooth talkers, but now we're heading into trickier territory. Ears at the ready.
I growed up talking like this. I just kind of had to learn how to church it up a little bit, you know, to get a job. But it's always been here. Frankly, I'm a little bit more comfortable talking like this, so this is what I typically default back.
It is friendly, it is popular, everyone in the whole world knows it, and despite the drawl, it's surprisingly easy to understand, because as you can hear, nobody's in a huge hurry.
And our accent is known for really drawing out its words. Someone like Matthew McConaughey is a perfect example of this.
You heard the lady, but I've got to warn you.
Man, I love that accent. Oh, I could just listen to that all day long.
This accent's got more accents than a rattlesnake's got rattles. So even if you can guess which state it's from, you'll have a hard time nailing down the exact region. For one thing, there's all the Spanish loanwords.
I don't give up easy. You know, in Spanish they call it terco, which means hard-headed. It might take me a while to accomplish what I want to accomplish, but I set a goal and I'm going to try to achieve it.
With all that history and all those horses, what are you going to get? Well, a bunch of westerns, for one.
I say, let's us put our bread in some of that gravy while it is still hot.
See if you can tell me where this guy is from. It's one of the oldest and most distinct accents of the whole state.
Do people still talk like that, though? You know, that black and white movie? I don't hear people sound like that. Obviously, I don't live in America, so maybe if I did, I would hear it more. But Americans watching this, do you still hear people talk like that?
Didn't find nothing first 30 minutes. That's a telltale sign I don't need to be out here.
It is the sound of the piney woods, and we are obviously talking about the Texan accent. And in case you're wondering why I've got Texas in the easy bucket, well, it's only because we're so familiar with the accent from movies, and this is what makes it somewhat easier to understand. Any Texans out there? Listen up, how good are you at knowing who's who in your state? The University of Texas did a study on this, and more than 70% of Texans claim that they can identify someone's exact area based on their accent. It's a huge state though, so that's pretty good. How about you? And if you think we're off to a good start, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell for more awesome accents from around the world.
Coffee! I got coffee here! Coffee! I got coffee! Does anybody want coffee?
Frank, I'll take a cup.
What are you trying to be funny, Karen? You're not funny. You're really living up to your name.
Welcome.
The Tony Soprano. I'm going to the Bada Bing. He's going to get whacked. Oh, mate, I love these accents. There's so much variation between American accents. It's just crazy. Like, that accent there sounds completely different to, you know, a strong Southern accent.
To an iconic accent. It's fast, it's loud, it's often very nasally, and it can often sound urgent or assertive. In other words, the accent is anything but laid back.
Have a nice sandwich with me, okay? We'll make a nice sandwich, veal sandwich.
Well, that's just a dead giveaway. It was influenced by Italians, and a bit of news here. My list is my list, and I'm including American opinions, but this accent came up in that survey I mentioned earlier, remember? Which accent do non-Americans think is hardest? This wasn't the winner, but it's in the top 5. The thing is, even Americans traveling abroad with this accent often say that nobody understands them. So it's not as easy for us foreigners as you might think. In some neighborhoods, you might even wonder if you accidentally switched into a different language.
I remember I lived on East 81st Street, across the street from my grandparents, which was really nice as a kid growing up.
What a great accent. Where's she from?
Yeah, that one sounds really sort of, I'm getting like a friendly vibe from that one. Like a nice vibe, almost like an aunt vibe.
Which part? Well, these city folks always use a heck of a lot of idiomatic expressions, all their own, and the regional identity is very, very strong. Last clue.
Quick question, is there a supermarket or deli where I can get cold cuts around here?
We're all hungry, hon. Let's settle in and we'll figure it out. I have no mascara on.
Valentina, don't worry about the remote right now. We didn't travel 800 miles to watch Cake Boss.
Go on, pause the video and put your best guess in the comments. Here it comes. Bonus points if you got
New York,
Brooklyn and Staten Island. It's the iconic sounds of New York City. Whoever missed this one, confession time.
7:45, he wakes up, he goes down to church, St. John Chrysostom. Then he comes home, he puts on his black and gold, heads on down to Heinz Field, meets up with my cousin Natalie Carapinas. They hang out there, have a couple kielbasa's, have a couple irons.
Still sounds like New York to me. This sounds pretty similar to the ones that we've just heard.
Wow. Right? That was English.
These guys might as well have their own dictionary. I'm not joking, I threw this one in because when you mix all the local words in with the accent, it gets a little bit confusing, at least I think so. And they really seem to have fun with it. Examples? Well, first of all, forget you all or you guys. Here, it's all about yins. It's a staple of the local lingo.
Yeah, I'm going downtown here. I got my eye rock off the blocks, you know. I live up in Washington County. We're going to get down and check out the game this Sunday. They're real good this year.
They talk fast and there's a lot of squishing words together. If you're not used to the pace, you'll probably be asking them to slow down a little bit. One more clue?
Hey, you best watch that bush. It's full of jaggers. Hey, it's been raining all night. Be careful on them steps. They're slippy out there. Yeah, I'm just letting that work right now. Meet me downtown. We'll talk about it.
Right, place.
Sounds a little bit like Canadian. It sounds a little bit like a Canadian accent. So I'm guessing it's like somewhere near the border. Minnesota, Oklahoma.
Your bets now. We are talking about the funny, quirky accent of, here it comes, Pittsburgh. Did you get it? I knew it. You guys are good.
I got a pig at home and a pin, corn to feed him on. All I need is a pretty little girl to feed him when I'm gone.
Love it or hate it.
Reminds me of Cletus from The Simpsons. Hey, Brandine.
This accent is very, very popular. It's as charming as it gets. Nobody's going to argue with that.
3 kids later, I'm over here doing daddy stuff. Like my buddy called me the other day and said, hey man, bike night's coming up. You gonna be there? I said, oh, when? And he said, Friday night, 6 p.m. I was like, oh, man, my oldest, he got a bounce house party. I gotta go to that one.
What on earth is it number 5 though? Well, that drawl might be so smooth, so cool to our ears, but easy to understand? I don't know about that. It starts off all... and then things get gradually trickier the further south you travel.
By God, living, breathing Yelp review coming in here pitching a fit before he's even had a bite to eat yet. I swear to Conway Twitty, you make me want... When you're hotter than grease, say yes to peace. When you're hotter
Buddy,
than
where are
grease,
you from?
North Kakalaki.
North what? Listen, you guys occupy a huge area of the US and you have so many accents that some are borderline dialects. So easy or hard definitely depends on which neck of the woods you are in.
It's currently 78 degrees. I'm bound to contract malaria, get snake bit, and my feeder might even start making popcorn.
She didn't say nothing. She brought me a whole thing. I don't eat much of that stuff. I eat a little bit of supper. Read that, then I go bad because I don't eat.
With all this...
Man, that's the first one that I genuinely did not get the gist of what he was saying. Love the accent. Sounds like butter. Sounds so smooth. But I could not... I understood what she was saying. But him, like the words were starting to blend into one another. He lost me.
Sub-dialects hiding in the valley. Things can get pretty crazy.
My best friend got this man, and for the life of me, I cannot find any like in my heart for this man. I ain't got no like in my soul for this man, but the hatred I got for this man, y'all, is strong.
Try
Louisiana, for sure. Cajun. Sounds like Gambit from the X-Men.
losing your friend in the woods, and you'll know all about it.
I knew I shouldn't have took my monkey tail out here with you doggone white folk. Just left me in the damn woods. Hurry up, come get me.
Pure rage. It is, of course, a southern accent. What's next?
Dad's trailer, thought I'd see my friend Wyatt. I was walking up the road, John Deere DT 170 was out in the front yard. He was welding something, saw his dad's welding mask, he had it on. I went over to him, he was like, you want to see something? I was like, of course I do. I wouldn't mind.
Anyone not know where this is? Well, people like me have to go scrolling through Netflix to get a clue. Now, some people say this accent is much more rugged than others from the region. I read this on good old Quora, but I couldn't tell the difference between that accent and the next one if my life depended on it.
Got 3 lawnmowers, 4 four-wheelers.
Whoa, buddy, way to cut us off.
Massachusetts. 6 dirt bikes, couple boats,
Now, let's say, for instance, you're hanging a picture on the wall, and it just needs to move just a bit. You would say it needs to move just a dite. Just over, just a dite. Not that much. Just move it over. Just a dite.
And then there's
no idea. I was gonna say Chicago, but it started getting a little bit too almost like southern in a way.
This other place that does strange things like adding R's in weird places. We're headed to the beach for some coffee, milk, and grinders.
Well, the Providence Place Mall is the largest cooperative mall in New England.
New England.
What do you think? If we go to Providence, go downtown, it's only like 20 minutes away.
What do you say?
Boston. You want to go to the bar? Harvard Yard.
Better write down your guesses quick because I'm going to give you 2 for the price of 1 here. It is country versus big city. If you guessed Vermont, Maine, and Rhode Island, you got them. But did you get the order right?
No.
There was a survey about this. Yep, here comes the survey. And as it turns out, when Americans are traveling overseas, us foreigners understand you least if you're from Rhode Island, followed by Maine. Stephen King will be proud. Okay, you can stop holding your breath for the big city accent. Here it comes.
On your right now is going to be another Dunkin' Donuts, okay? Straight up like over the hill. Across the street used to be another Dunkin' Donuts / like Baskin Robbins combo. You know what I'm talking about. Oh, it's jails. It's gone now. Anyways, on your left is a Stop and Shop. That's where my dad likes to go. My mom likes Roche Brothers, but she says it's too expensive. Anyways, that's where my dad goes, Stop and Shop. There's a Dunkin' Donuts in that Stop and Shop. You're going to go straight through to the Rotary.
Tell me about your accent.
I've been parking cars.
Okay.
A lot of walking around. My dogs are barking. Dogs are barking.
Have you been
barking?
to the Charles River?
I've been to the Charles River. I saw Marky Mark there.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Boston, baby. Wicked cool town, I hear. In fact, Dave on the story learning team has run the Boston Marathon. Very proud of him. That's right. And if you know your geography, we are in New England. It sounds like they're rebelling against the rules of American. By the way, did you know that American accents are actually getting further away from each other, not closer?
Honestly, it's weird. I would have thought that New England, you know, judging by the name, would sound a lot more English, whereas I don't hear any sort of English influence in there. But perhaps there's areas within New England that have a bit of an English twang.
But say so, and who am I to argue? I just love accents, don't you? Accents and telling stories, and that's why I make all these videos. But here at Story Learning, we actually teach languages: Spanish, French, Korean, Mandarin, Chinese, 15 languages in fact, and we teach language.
Oh, hey there, friend. You want to come over to the backyard and have a little cocktail?
Are you kidding? It's 33 degrees and raining.
I know, it's like spring break, eh?
No, it's freezing right now.
No, it's not.
Hey, I haven't seen you since last summer on the lake. How goes it?
If you want a...
Sounds straight up Canadian to me. It's got to be like right next to the border, like literally. Like Minnesota, something like that.
Pop culture phenomenon, here we go. Prepare to laugh. While you're at it, see if you can pick up some fun regional differences. So these guys are known for their good manners, strong family ties, Scandinavian blood, and a sing-song sound, as any soccer mum will tell you.
I was driving down the road the other day and I was in my van and this deer...
Is that Taylor Swift?
This dang deer just jumped out in front of my van and I didn't even know what was going on.
I never thought I'd put Taylor Swift in my videos, but she deserves this one. How about that accent though? Not so hard to copy, right? Don't be fooled. Try this on for size.
So where are you going to Christmas? Well, first we're going to get the family together. We're going to go to Famous Dave's Barbecue, you know, around Calhoun Square.
Oh, haven't you been to Hibbon? Because Hibbon's so nice, especially around this time of year. Or you go to Findlay, or maybe you go to Grand Marais.
You know, I have. Actually, we were going to go to Hinckley. Have you ever seen the museum there? Apparently, the whole city caught fire when you take the 494 to Mall America.
Tell me what she said.
I'm actually really proud of myself that I understood that. My mum, for sure, wouldn't understand that. She for sure. Maybe it's because of it has to be because of all the TV and movies like from America that I watch. Because I can't think of why else. I must have heard it before, like that accent.
Verbatim, I dare you. And the accent is from, well, it's from Minnesota, also known as the North Star State. Nice one. Did you know they have the oldest rocks on Earth here? True story. I'm going to sneak in another one here, and I'm kind of cheating putting it in with the number 8s, because things look very different when we touch down in the city where they don't have Scandinavian blood, and they're famous for the very particular ways they say their A's.
Travel around the country, which I did mostly by illegally riding freight trains, which some people might have a problem with, but whatever. It worked great for me. I mean, it's habitat for wildlife, if anything. For me, it just makes me feel nice when I've been outside dealing with most of the human infrastructure that I normally find so revolting. This just calms me down a little bit.
No doubt about.
Sounds almost like New York, doesn't it? Sounds pretty similar to the Staten Island accent.
About it, he's from Chicago, more wonderful accent in the Great Lakes region. We're past halfway, and I had a hard time choosing which accents to include because there are a few really divergent ones out there. If you know any of these immediately, better write it down quickly in the comments.
As I'm stringing up my 4th bass, a woman catches me. She tells me to stop. It's her father's business. I tell her no. She starts casting with me. We spend a whole night packing pasties on the fishing reel counter.
Well, this sounds a little bit out of the ordinary, doesn't it? Well, does it? Well, I'm not tricking you. The people who speak like this actually have very different historical backgrounds to other Americans.
The hard part is shoveling the roof off all the time, you know.
Roof.
Last year I fell off of it, and, you know, with the snow there, it's a cushion, you know, and you fall in it and it buries you, and you just lay there and laugh, you know.
I just wanted to come on here and check on my friends down in Texas. Are you guys okay? Got some snow down there. I need some help. Need advice? Tips?
Okay, I know you.
Has to be near Minnesota. Has to be near. I thought it was Louisiana initially, but then when the lady started speaking, it just sounded completely different to the sort of like Louisiana, New Orleans accent. I think it's one of the states next to Minnesota.
You're thinking, I already showed you the snow and the snowy accents. Yeah, calm down. This one's not even in the same state, guys.
Last year, we still had 45 inches in the month of April. And so it's the late spring and the length of the season that wears on you, not the amount of snow.
Okay, what you're hearing is a whole lot of history, including a heavy dose of Finnish, French Canadian, Scandinavian, Cornish, German, and Native American. Throw them all in the pot of snow, and what do you get? A lot of fun.
By the way, guys, I want you, it's probably a bit late now, so guess where each of the accents is from, and let me know in the comments if you got it right. I'll know if you cheated.
sounds that you only hear in this region. It is the Yooper accent, courtesy of the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. I'm going to give you a hint about the hardest American accent of all, so you can start warming up for the big boys. Ready? It's sitting free and happy in the sun in the most linguistically diverse state in all of the US. But will you get it? I don't think so.
You gotta watch with the mindset and the girl, you want to learn this accent. You gotta be real intentional. That means that when you watch a video, you gotta try to pause that video. For example, I watch a lot of Taraji P. Henson movie in that ceremony where she was like, oh, Robert, if you will cut at that door, there is no coming back. Bro, you gotta pause that scene and try.
This is one with deep cultural roots, and not actually a regional accent, but a cultural one. Very significant influence on American pop culture too. Now there are so many different versions, I couldn't count them. Some easier to follow, but others sound like it's all in code.
Yes, right there, right here, everywhere, swear, downstairs.
Atlanta, I reckon. Atlanta, Georgia.
Upstairs, come do my hair. Yes, we talk like that.
Where is her accent from? Get the name of the city, just try.
That's cool, nigga. I gotta earn at the crib. You can earn your What? No, I'm saying you can earn your clothes. I gotta earn the crib. You can earn your clothes.
Earn.
But they my clothes already. What I gotta earn them for?
Iron.
No, you could. I'm not finna work hard for no clothes that's mine already. Is all I'm saying. What are you saying?
What's fascinating about this accent is it's actually a legitimate dialect with its own grammar rules. And
it has to be Atlanta, I think.
So on. Remember, we're talking about a cultural accent. So this is all over the States. It's called African American Vernacular English. One interesting thing about the pronunciation is, back in history, most immigrants from Africa didn't have the sound.
They used to call that Ebonics, didn't they? But I think that term sort of like fell out of like grace a few years ago, or maybe more than a few years ago. In their native languages. So when they were learning English, words like that became that. Interesting, right? Ready to level up to baffling?
I'm talking about, I hit the corner store the other day, you understand me? I had to get some blunts, you feel me? I'm finna get high. It's like,
you feel me? I like that. You feel me?
I back to the crib, then a little hoe called me. She talking about, I'm trying to slide through. I said, you trying to give me that air, man, you feel me?
Right, I'm out. I did not catch a word of that. Now, where are we exactly? Well, the city names are coming up in 3, 2, 1. These two are from St. Louis, Missouri, and the last guy is from Florida. How many?
I was way off. I was sure it was Atlanta. I was sure of oh, man. I was getting ready to be like, yeah.
How many did you get right? Florida, you win this round, hands down. But then one day you get lost and go wandering into the foothills.
We got water in the man trip we was riding. We was in the back of it, and that water was 12 breaks of water backed up. And it just blowed that coal out just like a explosion, you know.
Yeah, I used to go to Indiana. First, I went up there with one of my exes. We went up there and stayed with his grandma. A bunch of her friends come over. I was sitting there saying something to him. Well, they started laughing, and then they come over and started telling me, oh, say this, and every time I'd say it, they start laughing.
This is Alabama. Has to be Alabama. We've not done Alabama yet. It's not come up in this video. I'm 99% sure of it.
Love the rhythm flowing from their mouths. I've got to say, I find this accent absolutely fascinating. I could listen to it all day long.
I've caught him out of many a time. It'd take us a long time to get into town in that old buggy. He'd tell me to work the brake. We'd start to go up a hill. I'd kind of push the brake on. He'd tell that old mule, get up there, get. Me scooting the wheel, but he'd look back. You know, Tom, he said, turn the brakes loose. He'd take 3 years of corn to feed it at lunch. He'd start back home about 4 o'clock.
There's a lot to
Wow, that accent is incredible. He almost sounds like one of those auctioneers, you know, the ones that are like, they auction off like racehorses.
Unpack in these accents, so I will keep it short. Ever heard that this brand of English has a really old Elizabethan sound left over from centuries ago? It does, but it has a much stronger Scotch-Irish heritage. Both of these things gave this English accent that amazing twisted Shakespeare sound that we love. There's a lot of eccentric words and pronunciation going on, but when some people hit that Smoky Mountain twang, you're gonna need subtitles.
You know, we didn't have no electricity, didn't have no running water either. We got it out of the spring. But they eventually got electricity up through here.
It is, of course.
Yeah, like he said something about not having any electricity or running water. I could make out like the key words there, but I really had to listen. I really had to like pay attention. Like if he spoke for like a long period, he might have lost me.
Deep Appalachia. I get pulled up on my pronunciation of this all the time in the comments.
Alabama.
It's an area that's always had limited access because of the mountains and valleys. So I guess if you live here, well, you're going to be well versed in mountain talk.
What's going on, son? What's happening? What's happening? Dynamite here, baby. Where's my crazy bird? Where's my crazy bird? Hey, baby. Let's go, baby.
And just to be clear, this is not about stereotypes. Millions of voices out here.
Home to me is just basically wherever family's at, no matter like if you've grown up with them for a long time or just gotten to know them, family's family.
I'm starting to think this court ain't too supreme at all, y'all. I don't see any sour cream, any tomatoes on this court. This ain't even a regular court. I would call it a value menu court, but value menus actually help people who struggle, so I don't know.
If you've never thought about where your own speech habits come from, you should find out. It's really interesting. Come back later and tell us what you learned. Well, that is as deep as the Deep South gets. Surely there's no trickier accents still left out there.
There's one coming for sure, I can feel it.
Are there? Well, there must, because I'm not finished yet. And when you really want to let the good times roll, better head on down to the land of the next accent.
We say shy, and that's a term of endearment. And you say that when you, or say you look at a baby, or a little puppy, something small and cute. You say, oh, shy baby, shy bébé, a marigouin. We have a lot of marigouins here.
Yeah, this has to be New Orleans, surely.
Marigouin is a mosquito. I can go outside right now and get tore up by the marigouins.
Beautiful. This one is super hard to understand because it has so many curious little bits that are completely different from what you hear in the rest of the US, but very, very cool. The rhythm, the expressions. But wait. What is going on?
There's no way. Was he actually saying something? There's no way. No, there's no way.
Well, the most characteristic feature of the accent is that there is no the sound. And they say things like, laissez les bons tons rouler. Because, what?
Quand j'étais petit, j'ai fait mon idée. Un jour, quand je suis grand, j'aurai une femme. J'aurai des vaches et des moutons et tout ça.
Yeah, it's a kind of English that's full of French. But not only French, also Spanish, British English, and there's even a layer from various African languages. That's not how you say it in the regular French, by the way. And who speaks like this? Well, it's the Cajuns, of course. The Cajun people.
Finally got one right. Oh my God, finally.
People have French-Canadian descent and they speak their own French Creole language, or Cajun French.
Ton beau m'a dit que t'avais la tête dure. Your boyfriend told me you had a hard head. Try.
Put them together and what do you get? Well, you get a Cajun English accent. You'll mostly hear this cool accent down in rural southern Louisiana.
Wildlife and fishery agents Fontenot and Thibodeau showed up in
Louisiana is New Orleans, no? Or are they two different places?
Boudreaux's house. Miss Boudreaux was so upset and crying. Mr. Boudreaux ain't come back from fishing. So Fontenot and Thibodeau, the wildlife fishery agent, said, we're going to find her, Miss Boudreaux. Don't worry, we're going to find her.
Quite distinctive, huh? Unless you're one of them, good luck understanding anything. I think they deserve to win this battle of the accents. Well, almost, but not quite. The winner of most difficult American accent of all is, drumroll please.
If I go to Beaufort and I talk to somebody and order something in the thing, they ask me two or three times. What is it? What do you want? I want.
We had a tea to go to for the president. I wanted to iron the dress to get the crease out of it where it had been taped up. And I went to every suite in that norm.
If you are a dingbatter, we'll forgive you for thinking a piece of Ollie's backyard drifted out to sea.
I got what she was saying. She wanted to iron the crease out for the president or something like that, right?
And ended up here. It's got some real Britishy vowel sounds. Listen.
Wind's blowing really hard. You see, it's blowing harder than a pop car right there, you know. You take it a ride around the island. You just take a little scud.
Isn't this amazing? It's an accent that came from pirates, sailors, Africans, and Native Americans who were isolated here a very, very long time ago. And they're still isolated. No wonder the local English is so unusual. The biggest thing that stands out is a totally one-of-a-kind vowel pronunciation and archaic words preserved from Old English just to mess with our modern ears. Where are we? Well, not too many options here. It can only be the Outer Banks Islands. A whole bunch of these here with names like Ocracoke and... I hope I'm saying that right, but I'm not done. If you have the muscle to canoe 187 miles...
It's insane how that accent is from North Carolina, but the people of South Carolina sound entirely different. Like Southern, almost. Just like normal, like a normal generic Southern accent.
North, there's another East Coast island accent that'll have you shaking your heads and throwing your hands in the air.
So I had to get out. I was mom's been
calling and cussing at me all day. She was behind the counter. She said, "It's a lie, Jack." I said, "Who's that, Mom?"
This street here, this will go underwater. These yards will go under during storms.
Oh, don't look at me just because I'm British. No clue, none whatsoever, as you can probably tell. And if I can't understand, well, how could they not win this contest? But is there an even crazier accent out there? Well,
man, that was a fun video. Like, I think I understood like 95% of what was said, but there were just a few words here or there, a few like groupings of words that just had me like, man, I'm lost. Man, I'm lost. I remember one of them was the older guy, the older gentleman, who was sat like on a porch. Strong accent, super strong. I think he was from, oh God, I think it was like, I can't remember where, but it was so strong. I'm actually proud that I even got most, like the stuff that I got right, I'm glad I did. My guesses were completely wrong though. Like me guessing where they were from, I was completely wrong. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.